times got really tough, right? And businesses were they were cutting back, and they were seeing where they could decrease their expenditures, right? Where they could reduce their cost. And unfortunately, a lot of the customers, the gas stations, the commercial route, consisting of a bunch of restaurants, pretty much started dropping like flies, one by one.
If you're thinking about starting a pressure washing business, but you want to learn more about the equipment, mixing chemicals, how to clean every surface on a residential job site, property protection, and much, much more, check out the How to Wash course. It'll be the first link in the comment section and the description.
All right, so my pressure washing business started in 2001, and we have increased our gross revenue and net profit every single year, with the exception of 2009, which was the peak of the Great Recession. We've operated continuously for over 21 years. And in today's video, I'm going to answer one of the questions that I get all the time on the channel, and that is, how did you start, or I guess rather, why did you start a pressure washing business? But before we get into that, I did want to mention that we are giving away 2 MacBook Pros in honor of the desktop version of Quote IQ being available. We are doing a drawing in a couple days for those 2 MacBooks. And if you're a premium or a platinum subscriber, you are already entered to win. So if you haven't downloaded Quote IQ yet, if you're only using the free version, or you're just not a premium or platinum subscriber yet, you still have a few days to get in. So don't miss this opportunity to get a couple MacBooks for your business. Okay, so probably like every single person who started a pressure washing business, we really had no intention of getting into this business. I don't know if there's a single child that when asked, they would say that they wanted to grow up and be a pressure washer. If by some chance that was you, please get in contact with me because I want to interview you. But let's be honest, nobody aspires to do this at an early age. But as you get older and you can see the huge opportunities that are out there for running your own business, being your own boss, being the captain of your own destiny, this can be a great business to get into. But that is not how my origin story started. I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia. I graduated from high school and I went off to college at the Citadel, the Military College of South Carolina. I graduated early because it was actually quite a miserable place to be at, and I chose not to go into the military. Instead, my intent was to go to law school. Through a series of events, I ended up interviewing with a commercial carpet manufacturer of all things. Again, not something that most kids aspire to do, but it was a great opportunity. It was a great paycheck, tons of benefits, and I was able to work from home. I did that for a few years. I then married my high school sweetheart, and we moved back to Atlanta, at which point I started working as an inside sales rep for a Fortune 50 company. Again, as time goes on, careers move forward, new jobs, new titles, new responsibilities. We ended up moving back to Savannah, where I was once again an outside sales rep for that same company. And before work every morning, I would get up and I would go down to the gym, 5 a.m., 5 days a week. And there was a core group of guys that were there. They were attorneys, business guys, politicians, and we all got to know each other pretty well. There was a guy named Craig who was in the wealth management space. He worked for a private group, but every once in a while, he would roll up into the gym and he was wet and dirty. Of course, I asked, why are you wet and dirty? And he said that he owns a pressure washing business and one of his guys didn't show up for the morning route. I didn't give it much thought other than that sucks.
We put together the most intensive training the industry has ever seen. Over 6 hours of in-depth training on the best methods for cleaning houses, roofs, driveways, and every other surface you might encounter on a residential job site. How to wash covers the chemicals to use, how to mix them, the equipment, the best methods to make you the most efficient and profitable you can be. Safety and property protection, specialty chemicals, as well as pro tips and so much more, which means How to Wash delivers and continues to deliver because it's yours to keep and review forever. We've also included an extensive Q&A section in each module, which gives you even more information at your fingertips. How to Wash is less than the price of one house wash, so don't wait. Click the link below.
So time passes by, and then one day Craig comes in and he says, hey, we're moving to Virginia. He got a job with a big bank, and really on a whim and for no reason, I said, what are you going to do with the pressure washing business? He said he was probably just going to sell off the equipment, and that's when the path of what I thought my life was going to be like changed forever. One of my friends, one of my mentors said to me, I guess he said to both of us, Mike's going to buy it, when I asked the question. And I was like, what? He said, yeah, with your sales, your marketing ability, your drive, you can take this business to anywhere that you want it to go. So I go home and I tell my wife that I'm going to buy a pressure washing business. And she says, what do you know about pressure washing? The answer, of course, is nothing. What do you know about running a business? And I did know a little bit, but really not running a business like this. And they were all valid points that she was asking. And of course, I really didn't have an answer other than Greg said that we should buy this. Now, Greg is probably one of the smartest and probably one of the wealthiest guys that I know. And she said, okay, if Greg says so, then I think we should do it. And then she said, is Greg going to give us a loan? Well, Greg didn't give us a loan. We took out an equity line on the house after agreeing upon a price. And I was now the proud owner of a pressure washing business with 2 trailers, 1 employee. And it was grossing. And let me emphasize the grossing. It was grossing only $46,000 a year. Net profit probably around $13,000, which was not good. But again, I saw such a potential and really untapped potential because there wasn't a huge market in the area at that time. And the guy that I bought it from, he'd carved out a little niche with sidewalk cleaning, dumpster pad cleaning, really focusing only on restaurants. So after I bought the business, I added on another employee and secured a deal with Greg's company and started cleaning all of his convenience stores. I then secured a contract with his biggest competitor and started cleaning all of their convenience stores as well. Instant cash injection into the business, which allowed me to pay back the loan almost immediately. So I purchased an existing business, and that might sound like a shortcut, but actually I would probably not recommend doing it that way. I inherited some accounts. Some were good, some weren't, some were profitable, some weren't. Those that weren't, I got rid of and replaced them with better customers. I inherited equipment that was used and not really taken care of well. The benefit to me was I had to learn immediately and rapidly how to maintain and fix this type of equipment. The trailers were worn out. I replaced axles. I replaced hubs. I spent enormous amounts of money on black spray paint, keeping them looking somewhat decent because like I said, they hadn't been taken care of, rust and water and all of that. Engines, pumps, unloaders, injectors, float valves, all of this stuff was brand new to me. Fortunately, I had a background, which was helpful. I owned a custom motorcycle shop at the time, and we built custom bikes from the ground up. So the mechanical side wasn't something new to me, but it was clearly different than working on motorcycles. So the business ran fairly well. I was still focused primarily on commercial work. Things were going pretty good, right? We were making a lot more money than the $13,000 a year that I inherited when I bought the business. And like I'd mentioned, we'd increased the size and the scope of the business each year until the Great Recession hit. And when that happened, times got really tough, right? And businesses were cutting back, and they were seeing where they could decrease their expenditures, right? Where they could reduce their costs. And unfortunately, a lot of the customers, the gas stations, the commercial route, consisting of a bunch of restaurants, pretty much started dropping like flies, one by one. I saw the writing on the wall, and I decided I needed to transition the business if I wanted to continue, which I did, over to a residential customer base. Now, I had all my eggs in one basket, and that is not what you want to do. You don't want to be focused primarily on one niche or one customer sector, because when something goes wrong, and it can go wrong, and it did go wrong for my business, then you're screwed. So don't have all your eggs in one basket. Diversify who you're calling on and what customer base you're going after, and that's going to serve you well should something go wrong in the future. But I will say that when things are rolling really good, you're really not focused on the what ifs and the maybes, but you should be, because I got caught, and it was something that we had to call an audible on. And because of that, our business had to change, and it had to change almost immediately. So it was a tough transition, and it didn't happen overnight. Business did take a dip. One of my guys was deported back to Serbia after having stayed a little bit too long on a visa that had expired, which was unfortunate, but it actually helped me out because, like I said, business had slowed down. So I started, and I didn't want to fire anybody. So I started marketing as best as I could to gain more residential customers and fill up our schedule so my other employee could stay busy. I knew at that point that, yeah, we were in a recession, but people still had money, and those people with money were still going to spend it on the stuff that they wanted, which was keeping up their properties and things like that. So I was going to figure out how I could get in front of those people. So I went and I found all the neighborhoods where the people that I thought had the most money lived. And I would use a combination of strategies, but mostly it was calling people on the phone. Now, at that point, the internet was nowhere near it is today, but there were some websites that I used. One was a reverse phone number address type website, and you would put in a street address, and it would give you all the phone numbers, the home phone numbers of all the people that lived on that street. Now, this was a huge benefit because it allowed me to target with precision all of the people in that area. Now, back then, everybody had home phone numbers, right? Now, a lot of you guys watching this, you have no idea what a home phone number is because everybody uses mobile phones now, but people used to have phones that were connected to the walls in their houses, and they had answering machines, which is kind of like voicemail, which would take a message, right? So I would call all these phone numbers and I would just leave messages saying, hey, my name is Mike. I own All American Pressure Cleaning and we're having a special. We're going to be in your neighborhood, blah, 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 right? So I was proactively going after people that I thought were going to be my ideal customer. And as it turns out, that worked well for me. I also did flyers. I did some mailers, things like that. But it was primarily calling these people on the phone and just getting the name out there, getting in front of as many people as I could. But the bottom line was I was not going to be beaten, right? I was not going to allow the economy to destroy my business. I'd worked hard on growing it and we would achieve a little bit of success and things were going well. But back then, like I said, we were using hot water machines. We were using really strong degreasers for the work that we were doing. And we were downstreaming the degreaser, but we weren't used to cleaning houses. We weren't used to using SH. So there was a pretty big learning curve. And I wish I had how to wash back then, but I didn't. So I had to learn it all on my own. And that's one of the primary reasons that I put together this training course for you guys. So you don't have to struggle like I did. Everything in one place, all the information, all the ratios, all the specialty chemicals that you use on a residential property. I learned it the hard way, so you don't have to. But that's neither here nor there. And I went out, I got the jobs, and for the first couple of months, I was on the ground learning the best way to do things so I could train new employees. I knew that business was going to grow. I knew the residential business was going to grow. I saw the potential. I was targeting the right people. I was getting in front of as many people as I could because lead flow equals cash flow. And without the lead flow, you're going to be sitting at the house wondering what I'm going to do today. And well, I knew what I was going to do. I was going to get as good as I could get, as fast as I could, and continue on the path that I had envisioned when I decided to buy this business. And so we figured it out. We adapted, we overcame, and success follows hard work. Success follows risk. These are not things that come easy. Nothing in life comes easy unless you put in the effort, unless you put in the work, and then you execute on the things that you learn, because if you don't, nothing else matters. There are absolutely no get-rich-quick schemes out there. Now, there are a lot of people on YouTube and elsewhere that are going to try to sell you on a dream, but I hope that my story shows you that it doesn't happen overnight. I've been doing this for 21 years, but it does happen. And you can have great success and you can make a lot of money doing this. This business provides huge opportunities for anybody that dedicates himself to this type of work, dedicates himself to excellence, dedicates themselves to doing things the right way every single day, and your business will flourish. And the beautiful thing about running a business and having success in a business, it then allows you to be able to leverage the success from that business into other ventures. And in my opinion, there is no pride, there is no honor in just scraping by and doing it the hard way. I don't think anybody wants to be on the truck for the rest of their lives, right? I don't think anybody wants to live just from job to job or paycheck to paycheck for eternity. I think people want to get into this type of business, being an entrepreneur, running your own business for time freedom, for financial freedom. And those seem like maybe catchphrases. And to some degree they are, but it's true. So I hope this story helps somebody out there. I hope it gave you the inspiration to do something on your own. And yeah, there are going to be roadblocks. There are going to be stumbling points, but you can do this. And I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And if you got any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. Do not forget to check out Quote IQ, because we are giving away those 2 MacBook Pros, and How to Wash. We're having a spring special. Use promo code SPRING50 to get a couple bucks off. And I hope you have a great day.